Hello, everyone. I just want to take a few minutes of your time just to talk briefly about the priority of God's family. If I were to ask you, what are your priorities? What are the most important things to you? You'll probably say God, family, and everything else. And I believe this is the common response that we always give when we ask people, what are your priorities? What's the most important thing to you? And you say, well, God first, then family, and everything else falls after that. And although that's our response, yet our actions are not that. We don't always put God first. Matter of fact, God seems to sometimes become the very last thing on our list. We put our jobs before God. We put friends before God. We put family members before God. And I want to say that although we emphasize family, blood relations a whole lot, that we ought to take care of family, we ought to be there for family, we ought to love family no matter what. Sometimes we say things like, man, me and my family may not always see eye to eye, we don't always get along, but man, if you did anything to any of us, watch how we come together and stand up to defend our own. And then there are some people who don't cherish family like that. They're distant, they're alienated from their family members, and they rather be with their friends because they find closer bonds and stronger bonds and closer relationships with their friends. And I've heard someone say recently, not all blood is family. Sometimes you can find family in people who are not blood. And that's all good. But the most important family is God's family. And this is what I want to drive home today, that we ought to cherish God's family above all other human family or relationships. Now, let me give you an example. Jesus was teaching his disciples and teaching a multitude one day. And while he was teaching, there were some who had come to him and said, Jesus, your mother and your brother are looking for you. And they expect that Jesus was going to do what many of us do, prioritize our family, stop doing what we're doing, and then go tend to their matters. But Jesus said something that was unexpected. He said, who is my mother and my brother? And then he begins to point out to the crowd of the people that he was teaching. He said, it is he or she who doeth the will of my Father. Then and there I knew how serious God was about his very own family. And I want you today to begin to pursue being a member of God's family, because although we say family matters and this person matters, that person matters, but God's family matters above all families. Why? Because this is the family that I know is going to heaven. You see, there are people in our blood family, and there are people who are in our family of friends who are not going to heaven. But yet we know that everyone who enters into the family of God is saved and will go to heaven. So I want you, as you begin to cherish family, I want you to prioritize family relationships in your life and make God's family first. And then listen, I guarantee you, when we put God's family first, then God will help us be able to fix the problems and have better relationships with our blood relatives and our circle of friends. See, a lot of times we don't get it. We miss it. We struggle. We're dysfunctional as families. We're distant. We're holding grudges. We're hard-hearted. We're bitter. And we can't let go of the things that have happened in the past. And we're quick to cut people off. Man, I've seen people who endure more drama and trauma and hurt and pain from men and women. But man, let your family hurt you and you will quick to cut them off. But that to me is a result of not really engaging in the highest form of family, which is the family of God. You see, when you're in the family of God, You learn how to trust. You learn how to love. You learn how to be at peace and walk in unity with one another. You learn how to exercise forgiveness. And so when that type of relationship cultivates inside of you, and then you go out and begin to be a part of your blood relatives, then, it makes a difference in your fellowship and your engaging with them. And so I want to encourage you to prioritize your life. God first, then blood relative families, and then everything else. However else you prioritize it after that. Those two things are first. But God must take the number one spot in your life. And so my question as I end this is, which family do you cherish most? And who holds the number one spot in your life? God bless you and keep you is my prayer. Have a great day.